business session, which is based on migrating the new age risks in hospitality. This is going to be our final business session, and this session is going to be moderated by Mr. Rahul Alwal, IPS, Mizoram Cyber Cell Head. And on the panel, we have with us Mr. Prashant Gururaj, Regional Head Cybersecurity L&T, Mr. Harish Chandra, SpiceJet, Mr. Kirtivas Neelkantan, Palo Alto Security, Mr. Jagannathan, CEO, Fourth Dimension Technologies, Mr. Shomik Ghoshal, Head Pre-Sales RSA Security. May I request the moderator and the panelists to please join us on stage? May I request the President to please present a memento to Dr. Mamta?
Yeah, Mr. Harish Chandra will moderate the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, SIHRA, for giving us opportunity to speak on a very sensitive topic of security. Our industry started from bed. Hope you remember that many years back, our industry started from a bee called as bed. Our industry is full of bees. I'm not too sure if you agree with me. It started with bed, then a component called as bath got attached to it. Then we added banquets, breakfast. So in hotels, we have got 4 major operating departments: food production, F&B service, housekeeping, front office. But now the real emphasis is given to IT, because without IT, hotels cannot survive. Hope all of you agree with me. Now, we are here to discuss something about security concerns, how to mitigate the risk. Though digital technologies are helping hoteliers to get good business, to get reach. Business can come from anywhere if you have a good e-commerce website, but there are various risks associated with it. I hope all of you agree with me. And unfortunately, in hotels, we do not give any emphasis to technology or security. Hope all of you are aware of this. So I feel organizations like SIHRA can really play a very vital catalyst role in promoting security for the hotels, which is a major concern. There are hotels with 10 rooms, 20 rooms, 200 rooms. And in India, there are 4 lakh hotels. The challenge is that only 4,000 hotels are classified or they are under some banner who can do something about security. What about the balance 3,95,000 hotel rooms? So I'm very happy that SIHRA has done something and they selected this topic. And my panelists are very brave because they can only take this sensitive topic very seriously. Thank you so much, my panelists. Okay, so I was telling you that our industry is all about bees. Now after this bee, C came, which is Corona. So everything is very constant. Everything changes with time. Now D is for disruption. A lot of disruption is happening. Uber, Ola, Make My Trip, OTAs, our complete business is overtaken, controlled by technology companies. Hope you agree with me. Now the new risk is, I have a website, but someone else creates a website and he takes all the money through NFT. Or someone takes control of Google business page. Someone creates a fake website. And you are sitting here, you do not know what frauds are happening in your hotel. It is by internal employees. 90% frauds are done by internal employees. 10% are from outside. Are we giving emphasis to security? I'm just setting the context on which we are talking, what we are going to discuss here. Are we really making sure that we have 2 different networks, one for the guest, one for my admin or for my back office? Or it is one network without any security layer and guest can go to my PMS data, delete or take the control. What is the new oil data? Is data secure? Are we compliant to PCS DSS? What is GDPR? Is the Wi-Fi safe? Passwords in all the hotels is no password or password only. In hotels, 80% hotels says passwords are supposed to be passed. Is it true? Okay, thank you so much. So this is the context in which I'm going to speak now. And I have a very, very strong panelist with me. So my first question is to Mr. Prashant. He's from L&T. Mr. Prashant, I just want to know from your side, what are the latest trends in hospitality security, how we can mitigate the risk? Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the panel today. We have heard about many aspects like ransomware, phishing, wishing. How many of us believe that we've been targeted at some point in time with a raise of hands? Okay, about 50%. At some point in time, have somebody got a message saying that your bank account is locked? So here you go. So there's the number. So most of us have at some point in time have got either a message or a target saying that we could be, our cards are blocked, our ATM cards have to be changed, the pins have to be changed. So these are all various methods and means of a targeted attack or a trend that has been happening. So phishing happens, wishing happens, ransomware happens. So there are newer things that are happening in the hotel industry as well. So in the recent past, we saw something called as dark night attack. So this was basically relating to a Wi-Fi access that was provided by a hotel, and people could use various applications that they have or probably use their mobile data or whatever, and then probably access their information using the Wi-Fi access that was provided. At the same point in time, somebody else had access to your data, and probably that you were in this particular hotel trying to access. They probably take it as an instance and send you a link saying that your patch has to be updated or your mobile application has to be downloaded. So you probably, without having much information, you think that, okay, this hotel has sent me this particular data, and I need to probably download the application as such. So this becomes an instance for somebody to get access to your particular data. So this is another way of trying to buy into you, saying that this could be another source of attack that could happen. The recent most trend that we are also seeing is something happening towards something called juice jacking. Now, what is juice jacking? Probably we've not heard about it, but then juice jacking is something where I forget to carry my charger, mobile charger or a laptop charger, and somebody else offers it to me. Now, this particular device that is offered might have a small chip inside, which could either read or copy my data that I'm using. So this either transmits certain amount of data that I have access to. It could be my personal information, it could be my bank-related information, or anything like that. And then this becomes another modus for somebody to access your entire information as such. So juice jacking is something that is also seeing as a trend. So the advisory is that when you go to public hotspots or when you go to public places, you don't actually use a device that is provided by a particular organization or by an individual. So use your own device to probably charge your phones or probably for charging or anything as such. So these could be various methods that a new age technology hacker or probably a new age cyber criminal uses to carry out information or probably transfer data, personal information, bank-related data, or anything like that. So these are some of the trends that are happening in the recent past, and some of them that have already happened and which is already doing a lot of noise is on the ransomware and other phishing and other attack surfaces that are being looked at. So these are some of the trends that we are currently seeing from hotel industry as well as from a general business perspective.
Thank you so much. My next question is to Mr. Shomik Ghoshal, Head Pre-Sales RSS Security. Mr. Ghoshal, if you can tell us something about processes and governance which affects hotel industry.
Yeah, hi all. Thank you for welcoming me here. From a governance perspective, if you go ahead and say, we need to understand what we are guarding first. We are guarding, so just before going into that, I was overhearing a very good conversation which is happening before, a conversation about the good food we produce in known establishments and whatever is happening in online ordering and all. Okay. Now, if that is a data which you're looking into and you understand and you create an IP around that okay, the difference between the food which is provided by online ordering and the good food over here, and you create a way that your people coming and consume that good food, that is an IP for you. You need to protect it. That is what we are sitting here and basically means discussing on. Apart from that, there are other things like your customer data and the end user data who basically comes in, especially in terms of identity and all. That is what you need to go ahead and protect. The third part of it is how your users or end users who actually work in the organization behave and work with your own network. So these are the three core main different components which you basically want to like to protect. Protection around this from a governance layer comes in different processes. You can go ahead and adapt policies like 27001. You can go ahead and identify your own risk structures, offshore some of the risk structures to some organizations like this one, and then carry the rest of the value with yourself. But from IT perspective, there are processes which are defined for you to go ahead and adhere to, and it is not a black hole as of now. There are industries which have adopted those processes to different levels, and there are industries who have adopted to a very far extent as well. So some of the controls are like identity, authentication, digital data understanding and security as well. So basically the idea is to go ahead and not only to go ahead and see as a group to how do you address it, but also to see that from individual business establishment perspective, what all components of those functions we do directly carry or we do basically offshore it as a risk structure to there. But the risk calculation for each and every organization is imperative, and you all have a different risk score based on your unique business structure. So the idea is there are processes, there are methods for this. You can come to people like SIHRA and all who can go ahead and take you through the whole calculation path, who can go ahead and guide you through the whole structure, define the risk structure for you, break it down into different stakeholders, and take you through the processes. So.
Thank you, Mr. Shomik. I will say only one thing, that in hotels, whatever you discussed is too heavy stuff. Okay, I'm just representing all this audience here because I'm from hotel industry. I think we need to find an easy way so that hoteliers can know about governance, risk, and I think SIHRA or someone has to create a technology wing where you can empanel us, we can give some consultancy, make it very simple for hoteliers so that they can mitigate risk. So I think calling us here in a panel and then taking it to the next level by creating some small work group where we all can help hoteliers will be of use. I feel I'm representing audience here well for this conversation, whatever you have learned. So please support us if you feel anything is required so that we can really help you, because it's not only Wi-Fi, PMS, point of sale, electronic door lock, or anything else. There are much more touch points, and we need to make sure that our data is safe. Let me give you a real example. In one of the hotel, the website name was lovelyhotel.com. Someone created a hotel called as lovelyhotel.in, and he was fleecing all the money in his account. No one is aware of Google business page, Google My Business page. Someone else easily can take control of your business page, and that page redirects to a fake website. And in one day, there are 2,000 cases happening in India, 2,000 cases. So I think SIHRA, FHRA needs to work with Ministry of IT, Cyber Cell to do something and tell Google that do not send a postcard to verify. I can take control of a hotel very easily. So I think something needs to be done, okay? Thank you so much. Now my second question.
I would like to add one thing. We would like the hoteliers and hotel people to do their own business. We don't want you to turn into an IT solution. The idea is that offshore, understand the risk first, and offshore as much as possible to some other organization. Secure, just concentrate on your own IP, how do you secure it and all. Rest, they can go ahead and take care of the IT part of it and the IT business part of it. Correct.
Thank you. Mr. Rahul is IPS of Mizoram Cyber Cell. He's also an ethical hacker. I think he can throw light how hotels can protect their IP, their guest data, how they can protect their employees and assets.
So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you for inviting me over here. So first of all, I want to like to ask all of you, how many of you think at this stage that cybersecurity is an important factor and we need to invest in it for protecting our assets? Can you please? Almost everyone. And how many have you already invested in this cybersecurity? So just see how where we stand right now. I mean, at this point of stage, I can say that some of you are victims yourself, but you don't know that you have been attacked and all. So there are some attacks which run over years. So I would just want to segregate into what kind of things. I mean, just want to give a broad base on what kind of challenge we face. First of all is generally if we think about cyber attacks and all, we think about disrupting our assets, not able to resist. For example, with respect to hospitality industry, like we're not able to do our reservations, not able to, like our systems are down, we are not able to take customers. This can be one aspect of the cyber crimes which are happening. Another aspect is about stealing of the credential data and also credit card information and other things where a financial loss happens to you. That is another facet. Then comes stealing of personally identifiable information of your customers, which they have imposed faith upon you to keep them preserved as a caretaker of the data, and that being stolen and can be used for further crimes. And I think fourth aspect is also you should take care where you are not the major target, but your customers are the target, where like many VVIPs and government officials and people working in secret organizations are coming as a customers to you. They give their data to you, they use your Wi-Fi, so something gets installed in them. So there is one instance where they have mimicked the Wi-Fi of the hotel, and it's called event will attack. So it like shows as if that, for example, if you're Shangri-La hotel, right? So we'll again show you Shangri-La. You don't even know the difference between the original one and the fake one. You just enter into it. What do you enter here? You enter your, usually in most of the cases, room number and last name. So they not even get any kind of error message and all. So usually for whatever input you give, you will get access to the internet, and then after that they will install some malware into you, and that shares the sensitive information for years long. So you just don't think about you as a corporation, as a hotel, as a victim, but you should think about your customers also at the end. So yesterday also have witnessed one of the sessions here. One person has very lightly said about customer service and about G2G kind of thing, from gate to gate kind of thing. So I want to extend it a little bit further. From the time the customer is actually searching for you, click your website, from that time onwards and till the end, perpetuality. I mean, because you are keeping the data with you for long. So your responsibility starts there and never ends. So we need to give our responsibility will still be with us. So as our chair here was mentioning about one example where fake websites are being generated, and also even when you search for Google, suppose I'm really interested in some particular hotel and I want to get registered there, I just search for it. There's a lot of fake websites which completely genuine looking. You just enter, give details. That is one facet of it. And another part is our own websites, which we handle, are not been not been audited for different kind of vulnerabilities. They're not updated. They're not patched, and also they are able to like very simple SQL attacks. Also, they can be worked on, and then you can get all the admin level information, So they will change the background account information of your website, and then whatever check-ins they do, they will all go to the concerned fraudulent accounts holders account. So I don't think this session will help us to get to understand all kind of attacks, but I want to just bring the point home that we are already late, and we have to work on it. We have to dedicate our resources, and it cannot be ad hoc. It has to be a continuous exercise. I would just highlight on the sites from the side of the law enforcement agencies what we are doing. As a victim, be an individual or a corporation or a hotelier, anything, we have a website called cybercrime.gov.in. So if you are a victim, you don't need to actually approach us at all. You just have to either dial us on 1930. This is a all over India cybercrime helpline, and another is a cybercrime.gov.in. You just go there. There are different aspects of it. First thing is, we take care very seriously about the rape, gang rape, and other child pornographic material. So there is separate drop-down menu there. There you can just give the information immediately, and within 24 hours, action will be taken on it. And there is another thing, which is a kind of financial and other social media kind of frauds, where we take it as a national crime reporting portal as a normal crime, other crimes. So there, when you complain, then an officer will be assigned, and he will go through the complaint, contact you, get further information, and then he will register an FIR after taking your concurrence. And another one is cyber volunteer, which you can register yourself. Being a aware citizen, you can give information of various things, like about fake websites. You can give about, you can be a expert. There are three categories of it. A nuanced person, a person who will actually give basic information on website. If he found something fake and all, he gives information. Another one is a awareness volunteer, where he will be our torchbearer and goes into society, into remote areas, and even in other areas, in friends and families and other areas, he will be spreading awareness of how to be cyber safe. And third party is an expert who would like to give us further assistance. And there is another portal which is on Cyber Tipline, where you yourself are not a victim, but you have got hold of you saw some CSAM kind of material, so a sexual abuse material, child sexual abuse material, or any kind of child pornography which is being circulated. So that information can be given to us. We can put down the case.
Thank you, Mr. Rahul.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Rahul mentioned that we all raised hand. Security is a concern, but we are not investing time or money to relook at it seriously. Trust me, in hotels, unbranded hotels, they just spend 0.5% of their budget into IT. Branded hotels do up from 1 to 2%. Trust me, the way e-commerce is coming, everything is going digital, everything is going from your data center to cloud. A lot of security layers need to be inbuilt in system, and you need to invest minimum 1% more to secure this digital content or this connected world. Trust me, please think whether you need to have a firewall, you need to have a good antivirus, you need to have managed switch, or whatever to secure your network. It is utmost required at this stage. Trust me, today everyone is just taking lightly. Once you will become victim, or to stop the gaps or leakages, whatever are already happening, please give some emphasis to this. Are you aware what is dark web? Dark web is something where your hotel data can be there. People go there to buy drugs, to buy guns, to buy data. Please relook what is dark web, whether your data is there or not. Are you aware of cryptocurrency? Now I will ask one of my panelists to take something on cryptocurrency, how hotels should look into that or safeguard themselves. Who will take this question, please?
Thanks for having me here. Yeah, I think the whole model of Bitcoin technology, or distributed ledger technology as it was called, was defined for a different purpose. Is it audible? Yeah. Eventually what happened was people started using this technology for what is called digital currency or cryptocurrency. Now, you might know that many countries have resisted and desisted from promoting the cryptocurrency, and all for a valid reason. It's simply because exchange of currency bypasses your statutory institutions like RBI or the banks or other institutions where you can actually have your bona fide credentials established on the currency and the medium of exchange. Plus, you also have an ombudsman whom you can go to and actually have complaints in case you have a problem. Now, the interesting thing about cryptocurrency is that it is by far the largest currency that is being used for ransomware, largely when you have an attack. When you have a cyber attack, most probably the villains of this piece is going to ask you for the ransomware in cryptocurrency. Why? Because it escapes the normal route of scrutiny, and the end users can't be traced. They'll collect the money and they will just disappear. So that's the modus operandi. I'm glad that the government of India has recognized it as a big potential threat, not only for the fact that it is dark money, more importantly, it actually aids all kinds of bad actors. I mean, child pornography is one. You have people who are into various bad industries and practices. So you have to be very, very careful of ransomware. It's just one of the attacks where cryptocurrency actually excels itself in. So please be aware of it. Yeah. No.
So thank you, Mr. Kritivas. You know what? Please ignore my knowledge. I'm from hotels. I always thought Palo Alto is only firewall, but I came to know that what you do for hotels is just 30%. Only firewall is 30%. 70% is a big area where we hoteliers are not aware of anything. I think one gentleman wants to ask a question in case we can give him mic.
I had a follow-up. Jagan is not. Jagan, you want to add? Yeah. I also have a point.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me here. A couple of points which I wanted to make was when Prashant raised this issue of how many of you have had exposure or been a potential attack, there are lots of hands went up. I think the key is, in this gathering, I think we're talking from a personal perspective. Let's all go back to our respective organizations, respective hotels, and each of us employ anywhere from 10 to hundreds of people. So which means if you look at the kind of opportunities for the bad actors to get into your organization, tremendous. So which means look at it from an organization, you are also the custodian of your customers' data, and it is, as a hotel, it becomes our responsibility to protect our data. So as much as possible, and the other aspect which I want to touch upon, Krittivas talked about ransomware, the bad actors wanting money in cryptocurrency. Gone are the days when hacking was a hobby for a lot of people. Today, ransomware is a business for lots of organizations. It is a business, which means for them, they go out looking at vulnerable organizations and see whether they can raise some money out of this. As simple as that. And again, we work with a lot of organizations to build the security infrastructure, and we notice a lot of them have this feeling, hey, why should somebody look at me? I think this is one question which will be in our minds. Why? Hey, I'm after all a hotel in a locality, why should somebody internationally come and look at me? It doesn't work that way. It's like keeping your door open and expect that nobody will come into your house. I mean, if you look, I'm just giving a very layman's thing, because the real life example and the digital example are very similar. If your doors are open, there is every possibility. He doesn't have to come and target your house. I mean, he finds a door open, he will come. And that's how it works in this industry. So given that, the need to protect it, you can, again, the need to protect it will depend upon our own levels of paranoia. You want to put 1 lock, you want to put 2 locks, you want to put 10 locks, all is possible. I mean, everybody works within budgets. All organizations have their own respective budgets. So depending on what you think is a safe option, I think we should be able to protect ourselves. But we cannot leave it open. That's the point I want to essentially.
Thank you, Mr.
highlight.
Jagannathan. Yeah. I think my colleague want to add something.
Yeah, I just wanted to extend what you said. I mean, we keep meeting customers. There are only 3 types of customers we know. Those who have got breached or they've been attacked, right? Those who don't know they've been attacked, right? And those who are yet to be attacked. That's all, right? Eventually, sooner or later, because of our digital footprint, because of our online presence, because of how the world collaborates digitally today with your suppliers, with your customers, anybody can be an entry point for an attack in your system, right? So we need to be aware of that. Now, this is a very deep technology industry. It calls for fairly sophisticated means of not only human intelligence and psychology, but also technology. So what happens is that if you have to run your hotel and that's your core business, and obviously you don't want to get bogged down by technology, there are very good managed security service providers in the market. I think you should look at them because that's their core specialization. You can outsource your security landscape to them. They know how to manage your networks. They know how to manage your infrastructure and your data. And it's a growing trend that we are seeing because this industry is, like I said, is deep tech. The skills are very, very little. You have your priorities. Just to give you an example, NASSCOM says that 2 lakh people are required in the cybersecurity industry in the next 3 years. That's 200,000 people. And we are not producing enough cybersecurity specialists. But the attacks will continue to happen. And nobody is immune to it. I mean, I'm immune, or not immune, neither is anybody. Even the most well-known people that I know of have been attacked and have been ransomware. Having said that, my humble request is that I think SIHRA should form a digital security body, have a few people, call in a couple of experts, and look at outsourcing your security posture to specialists who can do it 24/7. Because once you become digital, it's not like a physical body, physical entity where you can lock it at 5 o'clock and say, okay, I'm secure till 10 in the morning when I open it again. You are vulnerable 24/7, right? And 365 days. And the bad actors are looking for it. The sad part is that the hacking itself has become automated. Just like you're automating your security part of it through, a next generation SOC or anything, somebody else is also automating and looking at vulnerabilities. There are applications out there on the internet which will keep looking at your, trawling the internet and say, okay, this hotel website is actually hackable. I think the database is hackable. I have access to the client's password that you would have probably used to make a payment. So all those data, is actually automated using a simple application which can be downloaded from the dark web or sometimes even GitHub. So you have that levels of sophistication in the market. My request is that, form a body, make sure that you're consulting the experts and look at running a managed security service across the entire organizations under SIHRA.
Thank you, Mr. Shomik. Now, in the interest of time, we will take only 2 questions now. I have a flight at 3:40. I have to leave. I have only 5 minutes more with me. Thank you so much.
Can I just add, if I have
Okay, please,
just about a minute? So where does data security start? Where does cyber security end? So data security, I think, starts from this event. You've all given your visiting cards, emails, a lot of other information to the organization. So protect that as a starting point, because that is again data that can be used for various means. So data security starts there. Where does cybersecurity end? So there's a lot of technology that you put in place in various of your properties. This could be your surveillance cameras. This could be your access cards, which have replaced conventional keys. There could be biometrics. A lot of these kind of technologies are already there. You are probably using applications that are developed using open source by a third-party vendor. So that's again vulnerable. That's another area of way of getting into your organization. So there's something called as open source vulnerability management. So that becomes another area of focus for an organization to look to secure. And of course, the entire organization's IT infrastructure over a period of time. So these are all various exposure points that you will have to consider. Of course, as everybody mentioned, that you will have to bring in expertise in multiple areas. Maybe the organization or the hotel might not be capable of having multiple people to look at this. So probably organizations will be able to help you all in looking at security more holistically than just looking at it individually.
Thank you so much. So time for the questions now. I think the gentleman there in the last left-hand side wanted to know something. Any questions, or this is too boring topic?
Hello, is it audible? Sir, good afternoon, sir. My name is Ramesh from Ramoji Film City.
Near.
Is it audible?
Bring it
sir?
near. No?
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. So my name is Ramesh from Ramoji Film City. My question to Mr. Rahul Alwal. As you said that the cyber security audit is very much important in connection with the hotel industry. So is it, what is your recommendation on website as well as hotel network and even on social media also? We need to do cyber security audit.
Yeah.
Please throw some light on.
So for this, see, you don't need to be an expert in yourself. You can get services. Already service providers are here among us. And apart from that, we have one national organization called CERTIN, which is Center for Emergency Response Team. Okay, so CERTIN has a list of approved auditors. Okay, so security auditors, which are like, there are a lot of numbers are there. So you, any one of them, if it's already been vetted and properly verified, so those in that list, if you find somebody who is near to your area, who can provide a continued service, you can have a contact with them and they will take care of all the services. And with respect to the websites, they will do all the things. They'll start with your systems, access control, everything. I mean, devices which you have, like even portable devices and other things also. They do every kind of service, end-to-end service they will provide. So you can start with that. That'll be a better thing to do. And I would just want to add one thing. I was mentioning about the website. It says many people would not like to complain also, even if they are victims. So I just want to urge upon you that please report to us, because we have a provision of automatic blocking of the beneficiary account, the accused account. In case any financial fraud, we take the transaction details and the account from which it has gone, we put them in our citizen financial reporting portal, financial fraud reporting portal, and it automatically gets blocked. And after registration of case, you can get back, and we are now working on a ways without registration also you can get that money back. So I request you all, even though you lose at least 1 or 2 rupees also, doesn't matter, you just put a complaint in the cybercrime.gov.in. Thank you.
Gentlemen, good afternoon. If you could recommend any companies that understand hotels, infrastructure and workspace to help us with this, because I know it could be endless. There are varied touch points of hotels. We are also open for that. But if somebody can understand our space, and if you can recommend any companies that can help us.
So big fours are there, Deloitte, KPMG. There are many other companies who do this.
All of these on the stage, yeah. We would like to take your contacts, please. Thank you.
So we don't provide the consultancy services per se. We provide the technology that helps you become secure, the products part of it. But then we have partners like L&T, and we have Fourth Dimension on stage. You have their heads here. And yeah, there are institutions that can not only do audit, but also implement and run it as a service. So you can do all three on a periodic basis so that your entire security posture is up to date and secure.
Hello everyone. We just want to understand, is there a requirement for a hotel to have, apart from the security who is there for physical security and the asset security, is there a requirement for a security head for IT as well, who can probably look at how many doors of the hotel software are open? We don't know how many doors are open because hotel owners and hotel people can barely go beyond PMS and the basic CRM models which are there with us. Is that more costlier, or is it something advisable to have a security for IT on the hierarchy? Probably that is
I'll take
something
this question.
that we can add, or is it beneficial if we can outsource it, who can come over and then give a feedback how many doors are open?
From last 5 years, international chains or domestic chains have started creating a post called as CISO, Chief Information Security Officer. So Taj has this, Oberoi has this, and many hotel chains are going to have this in future to protect their assets. Now, government is going to come with a rule, if a company's turnover is more than 100 CR, I believe I have seen this article, then you need to have a Chief Information Security Officer or Chief of Digital, something like that. That will be mandatory for listed companies very soon.
The uniqueness in a hotel structure, I'm really sorry, is also that you not only hold the data of the citizens of this country, you are also implicated by laws of other countries as well. So say, for example, GDPR or US data protection law, when their citizens go ahead and show their passports to you, it is your prerogative to secure them, and that is not being shared with other organizations or perpetrators for that case. We have a very weak data protection law in our country, but that is in the brink of getting finalized. Once that is finalized, the implications will be very different than what they are as of now. And then it would be your ownership. Obviously, you will have to decide how much do you take directly, how much do you, offshore it to some technical specialized organization. But then the responsibility will be directly with the person who is managing that data.
I'm leaving now. I am handing this session to Mr. Rahul. He will moderate. He will take all the questions. Thank you so much.
So just to also answer to that point, whether IT security has to be considered, in the recent past, there have been instances where some large hotel chains have been attacked, and there have been instances where access to rooms were blocked by the individual until unless a ransom was paid. So now, do you want your guest to stay outside, or do you want to get into the room? So would that be part of your IT, or would it be part of your physical? So this is part of IT itself. So while you say that it is IT, there's also a BMS part of the security, the building management system. So there is a very thin layer between a physical security as well as, of course, there's a lot more with information security and IT security, but then physical is a very lesser activity to the entire thing. So IT is very important for you to secure, especially when it comes to your reputation as such.
Can I add something to what you're saying? Is with everything going digital, IT becomes crucial for all. I mean, the entire organizations today are centered around IT. That's point number one. The other question that you talked about, can somebody come and tell me where are the holes in my system? There are methods available which tells you these are all the holes. We can, and it's up to the individual organizations to decide which are the ones you want to plug, which are the ones you don't want to plug. Okay, that's one. The final thing which I want to touch upon is any security infrastructure that you implement. There's nothing called 100% foolproof security. You should understand this. I mean, it's a question of how much we want to secure. So anything which makes it difficult for the bad actors to come in makes it a good security system. I think that's the other way to look at it.
I would like to add, when we were talking about cybersecurity, it is not only about technology and having this softwares and other things. It is the major weakest link is the human part of it. And social engineering is one such methodology which hackers use, where they get information, solicited information from people posing themselves using some other hacker PII information, personally identifiable information, are genuine requests. As an evolutionary species, we have seen that we are animals of cooperation. So we trust by default. So that part has been tapped by the hackers, and they will call and ask assistance. Are they pose themselves as a position of authority, fear, or some other concepts where they will get information from you? So there they will do. So I have been asked by Mr. Sundar that to give some examples where I have seen hotels have been victims. So I'll just tell you one case where it was in Pondicherry. I've previously posted in Pondicherry for 4 years. There I was heading an investigation where we got a case there when in a small room all the POS machines were gathered and they were swiping on with blank cards. So then later we got to know that these information has been taken, bought from the dark web about different cards, credit card informations. So these are mainly the victims are of abroad. And there are also some victims which are found from India also. What happens is in the POS machine, you can install a kind of small skimmer. So which has a chip into it. So when you actually, all the credit card magnetic strip are not encrypted. So when I swipe your card, I can buy a small card reader that is not much costly also. So if I swipe it, your card number, your expiry date, expiry month and year, and your name. These three information will be readily readable. And the CVV number information, if you give the card for anyone to swipe or anyone else can have at least have a glance over it, they will know. And internationally, no one will ask about the OTP. Only in Indian RBI has put as a restriction to go for OTP. There is a reason our banks are doing it. Otherwise, if your own card, if you use for any kind of international transactions, OTP is not required. So this information is enough for doing any kind of fraud. And what happened was, in this particular case, the card is from the other countries, and they have asked, I'm telling you, small hoteliers only got victim. They said that you give your POS machines to us, we will try to swipe some cards on it, you will get 10% commission. So they were like struggling hoteliers, struggling people, so they gave their own POS machines which has international cards acceptance. So they used to make fake cards and then used to swipe it and they used to get 10%. So I had to call a lot of people and interrogate them whether they were part of the crime or not. So these kind of things happen. And it might not be in the notice of the original owner also. It might be the person who is actually a bill clerk here who must be out of greed, must have given that to you people. So, and another case was using this fraudulent credit card information, they're trying to book flight tickets and also hotel bookings. And in most of the cases, in last minute and all, they get cancelled. So you will lose your booking also. In that way, you are losing your money in that case also. So these two things I want to highlight. Thank you.
So to the question which you had, how much should we block and how much should we leave, and what is so you would like to know what is the ratio of it or what is the value of it. As I said, the first activity in any kind of a security architecture is to understand your own risk. So once you start that activity, you will understand the risk. How much of that risk can be addressed by the technologies which you have in your hand, and how much has to be given away. So that calculation will basically give you, out of the 540 Wi-Fis which you have, how many of them need to be a second factor authentication and how many don't have to. So that is how you normally go ahead and get that calculation done. So the idea is, all of this is already done, addressed, and there are methodologies to address all of your queries. How do you take it and when do you take it is something which is a question. When do you take it is also answerable, because as soon as the data protection law for India comes in, you pretty much have to take it. But then you might end up into a newspaper after getting into the scenarios, because when data protection law comes in, any breach has to be reported. Okay? So the idea is you can take it beforehand, cooperate with some licensing organization like SIHRA, and then go ahead and start the journey. All those steps can be broken down for you to understand what. So there is a component which your staff needs to be educated on in governance as well. Say, for example, don't share the POS devices with anybody who you don't know. Okay? So these are the small things which the hotel can go ahead and retain in terms of governance. 90% of the IT technology they can go ahead and offshore to somebody else. So all those processes are done. It is nothing, it's not a new wheel which we are creating. The idea is you need to go ahead and take it up as soon as possible so that things can be addressed.
So with this, shall we conclude the session?
Any questions to the panel? Mr. Rahul Alwal, IPS, is one of the genius in this subject. If you all go through his LinkedIn profile, we don't have time to introduce everyone. So if you go through his LinkedIn profile, you will understand who he is. So probably you all can share your contacts if anybody wanted to contact you for any other advice. How do we? Sorry? Yeah, we can also pass it on to you. So any more questions to the panel? Shall we wind up the session? Yeah. Mr. Harigar Mugam, you can share something that you have been one of the victims in in one of these cases. I think you should share. We have another 3 minutes. You should do that.
Thank you, Sundar. Hi. We were actually a victim. I'd like to ask everybody, like, when is the last time anybody checked on Google if you own the asset in Google? Do you frequently check all that?
You want?
Please do, please do. Because Sir was talking about all POS frauds and other things. We had a shocker a day. There were 3 guests standing in our hotel. We didn't have fine bookings of theirs in any of the systems. So when we inquired into it, they had booked with us, with our name basically, but not with us. So they had hacked our Google asset. So it's a typically identical page that they created, but the number that they gave was something else. And so we went to the crime, cybercrime division, but it took us 10 days, sir. So maybe, it was a little difficult for us because we had to go register the case, explain to the people, but then we were not the ones who were cheated of money. It was our clients. So they had to come, and the clients were apparently from Hyderabad and Bangalore and different places. So we had to rope in everybody, bring them.
So you were actually cheated of the money?
Exactly. I wanted to tell that.
So those clients were yours?
Exactly.
They will never come back?
No, but what happened was at the station, the cybersecurity station, sorry to say, sir, like, the cybersecurity division is still not beefed up to that level. For them to understand what happened itself took them 2 days.
So just like I'm just telling you, just like I was telling in the beginning, how many of you are
so everything happens to me. My president is laughing here, so I get all the experiences. So what happened is we contacted Google to find out actually what happened, because there's a lot of time and energy that goes in to get your asset registered in your name. So when we asked Google, they said, sir, we have not changed. If there is anything, there will be an official mail sent from Google asking that there has been a request for change of asset. And when we started looking into it, as an owner, we really don't bother about such things. It's the IT department. And luckily, we do have an IT department head who handles all these things. And he said, sir, no, I have not given anything, but we get requests on a daily basis for change with different names, different things. And when we went in and we checked it, it was very simple. There is an official number that we give in Google, which most probably is a mobile number of your particular hotels. So what happens is these culprits, they call up the hotel number and act as if they're calling from Google, and they say that we need to renew your ownership, and it's most probably a kid at the front office or somebody. Yeah. So literally gives them the OTP number, and that's it, they transfer it. So even Google took 10 days to actually find this out and tell us. They said, sir, sorry, somebody must have given it to you. And then I shared this with all my friends, saying that please tell your front office. It again goes back to our seminar about HR and training and all that, but this is something we need to train all our front office people, that if you have an official number, somebody is handling that official number, be it be in the front desk or anywhere, anybody calls and says that, we want to renew, there is an OTP, please don't share it. Because none of the IT companies call us by phone. Everything is sent by mail. So, but afterwards it took us 10 days. In this 10 days, they were able to capture about 1.4 lakh rupees.
So in this, I want to just tell you 2 things. First thing is, you are estimating only the direct loss. There are a lot of indirect loss. As said, one is the reputation part, which is a recurring thing. Other than that, your staff, which was lying vacant, not doing any work, they've been paid salary, and that additional training which you cannot do. So there are a lot of indirect loss which you have to account for. And second thing is, after this, I would like to urge all the hoteliers here whosoever have their own IT department. I think they should all have a separate session of a one-day session or something like that, and they should all pool and get themselves trained. That will really be helpful. If the association here will take a lead on this.
In fact, thanks for that. I was in Pune 2 weeks back, and we just did a session for MSMEs under the CII banner. One interesting episode was that Diwali time, somebody had spoofed a very popular sweet merchant's name with a complete website, logo, everything, including number. And the original sweet merchant's business was actually going down, and he was surprised. And then when he went online, he realized that there's somebody else who's spoofed his website, given a number and delivering sweets on his name. So a lot of these things happen. You have to be extremely cyber literate. You have to be digitally aware. And like he said, I think we need to train our people more and more so that they know exactly what potential challenges can come and have an implication in terms of the business. So I'm not surprised. I mean, there are hundreds of such cases that happen every day.
So
every day. They don't try to do very fancy, very,
Correct. And the best part is
Hollywood type of things. They do it simple. It's an OTP that they send to your reception,
Exactly.
and your reception just gives them the OTP, it's finished.
And the beauty is that many of these operators, their threshold value of sustaining the business is very limited, the bad business. So what they do is like the Diwali attack, right? They do it for that 1 week. After Diwali is over, they'll close their website, everything, and they walk away, right? So you don't have any trace to go after them. You'll have to look at, cyber forensics for that. So,
But what was surprising was they had a bank account in my own town, in my hotel's name. Only thing is like there's some alphabetical difference or added some suffix to it and gave it. So we got hold, the department did come talk to the bank manager. The manager had everything. He had all the proofs in his hand.
Correct. So the idea, everything is social today. And as Sir said, you need to report it to Government of India. This is not, just a very small forum over here whom you have said some of the processes. If you report it, these processes will be over in the digital media for them to go ahead and block in the country. And we really advocate that make the Government of India sites your social place to go ahead and report these scenarios so that overall we can be given a structure because they can take down. There are other services who can take down as well. If it is take down from a government perspective, it is a better way of doing it. Obviously, it is free as well. For you, it is much cheaper as well. Okay.
So thank you. I would like to close the session here. I would like to thank all the panelists here and also very vibrant guests who have actually paid patience and listened to all of our conversation here. And thank you once again, and also to the association. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much. I request the panelists to please stay back for a minute while I invite on stage Dr. Vasudevan, EC member of SIHRA, to please come up and present a token of appreciation or memento to all our panelists. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I request you to please stay back because we do have another lucky draw that's coming up. So this is going to be our final lucky draw. And may I please request Mr. Rahul Alwal to please stay back for the lucky draw. Ladies and gentlemen, in case your cards are not here, please do add it in the bowl now. And Mr. Rahul Alwal, I'd request you to please stay back for the lucky draw. Thank you. I request Dr. Vasudevan and Mr. Rahul Alwal to please stay back for the lucky draw. Can we get the fishbowl on stage, please? We are going to be calling out 4 winners, and all of these are luxury premium vouchers that we are giving away. The first winner is going to win 2 nights full boat. 2 nights at Coco Lagoon, Pollachi. I repeat, it's 2 nights at Coco Lagoon, Pollachi. Ladies and gentlemen, can we be quick, please? Can we get the bowl on stage quickly? We are going to be calling out 4 winners, and the first winner is going to win 2 nights at Coco Lagoon, Pulachi.
Mr. Jayapal, JC Group Companies.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Our next winner is going to be winning Carlton Kodaikanal 2 night stay at Carlton Kodaikanal. Again, another premium luxury resort that we have.
Mr. Girish Ardhya, The Green Path.
The next winner is going to win 2 nights at Y3 Village Resort, Wayanad. Again, another premium luxury.
Mr. S.M. Shivakumar, General Manager Admin of Karnataka State Tourism.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Our next winner is going to win 2 nights at Accord Kaldan Samudra, Mamalapuram.
Mr. Rudramurthy, Hotel Kodai International.
Congratulations. Congratulations. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the final winner, and the winner is going to win 2 nights at Accord Pondicherry, and the winner is
Mr. Narayana Gowda, Hotel Owners Association, Mysore.
Congratulations. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for doing the honors. Can we get the visiting card, please? With that, for the closing ceremony, may I now invite on stage the SIHRA President and the Executive Committee members, and may I request Mr. Sundar to please take over for the closing ceremony.
We request all of you to stay back for next 10 minutes. We will have a closing ceremony, and we need your feedback. A couple of people can share your feedback about the whole convention. I request our President and EC members to come to the stage, please, quickly. Sir, President, sir. We need more chairs. Quickly. You can put this chairs, white chairs. You can put this white. Next 10 minutes, please be seated. We will close it in a nice way with all your feedbacks. Okay, put up the music. Okay. So good afternoon to all of you. Yeah, we just wanted to have a closing ceremony. I just wanted to share a few things before, it's not a Thanksgiving ceremony, but it is a small thing that I wanted to share. When we all started this process of doing this convention 45 days before, and we are all debating whether to do this convention or not. So it is 1 versus 20. All the 19 people said, no, this is not the right time. People may not attend. And the industry is getting more business and the people are stressed with work. So it is not the right time to do it. So including myself, we were advocating not to do this. This is not the right time. Our president was listening to everybody's conversation and finally said, we are doing it. So, it is 1 versus 20. So I came to Bangalore and we all started working 45 days. We are D minus 45. And then President deployed the Bangalore regiment, Bangalore army here, which I have physically seen that so many people he has got, his battalion has been deployed into this. And he really made this miracle of doing things. Even the first 15 days that we don't have a hold on the whole convention, and we were all in a dilemma. And the 30 days, the last 30 days, the momentum picked up and everything started happening. And you all may be knowing that we all communicated to the very last time to you all, and you all